What's up guys, Asian here again with another PTS video, and today we're going to be doing the revisit for the Maelstrom versus Master's Bow Backbar for stamina DPS. We're taking a look at this for a second time because Maelstrom Bow was bugged and the tail was bugged when I first tested this out, so now all those bugs have been fixed, so hopefully we can get an actual accurate comparison now between the Master's and Maelstrom Bow, at least as accurate as we can get. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do the Endless Hail rotation just because Endless Hail, the duration was changed, so it doesn't really line up very well, at the very least on the stem sort. But in general, the Endless Hail duration change is a little bit weird right now. It's 12 seconds long compared to 10 on live. So combined with the 2-second wind-up time makes it a little bit difficult to get the rotation down exactly the way I'd like it. So with that said, that is a big caveat here when we take a look at the actual numbers, that the Maelstrom parses could probably be a little bit higher potentially, as if I can figure out how to optimize the rotation. It might just end up being I do a dynamic rotation, so we'll just kind of go from there and see how it all plays out in the end here. But I think the results are still pretty indicative of kind of where things stand right now. The other thing too I also want to mention as a caveat is that I am getting a little bit of lag on the PTS right now. If you guys check out the very top of the screen, next to PR, which is my ping rate, it'll sometimes jump up to something like 350 or something like that, so that also impacted my tests as well, just because the rotations were not as smooth as I would like them to be. So without further ado, first let's go ahead and talk about the differences between the Masters and the Maelstrom Bow, and why we're using Endless Hail with the Maelstrom Bow, but we're using Arrow Barrage on the Master's Bow. So both bows are what are called arena weapons. So these are weapons that you can get from completing any of the 4 different arenas. That's Maelstrom Arena, Dragonstar Arena, Black Rose Prison, which is a 4-man arena, and then the Asylum, which is a 12-man trial. So those are what's called the arena weapons, quote unquote, mainly because the first 2, Maelstrom and Dragonstar, were the original arena weapons, and then they added in Asylum and Black Rose Prison later on. These basically affect one of your active abilities on the weapon line. So for example, the Maelstrom dual wield, like I have here, that affects the flurry ability on the dual wield skill line. So each of these different weapons does affect a different skill. Now the Maelstrom bow here affects Thunderous Volley, or the effect is called Thunderous Volley because it affects the base morph Volley. So it also affects the other 2 morphs of Volley, which are Arrow Barrage and Endless Hail. So the Maelstrom Bow increases the damage that Volley deals by 320 each tick. This bonus increases by 110 every time a Volley ticks, so that's the Maelstrom Bow effect. Basically, it makes your Arrow Barrage and Endless Hail stronger the longer it is out. And so because of this effect, we do want to use Endless Hail, because Endless Hail does give us a few more ticks compared to the Arrow Barrage. So even though Arrow Barrage does have a greater damage per tick value, because of the fact that Endless Hail gets an additional, I believe, 4 additional ticks compared to Arrow Barrage, that gives us a little bit more damage on the Maelstrom Bow that way. The Master's Bow, on the other hand, improves Poison Arrow, so this increases web damage by 310 against targets that are affected by Poison Arrow, and this does also, just like the Maelstrom Bow, affect both morphs, so that's Venom Injection and Poison Injection. And so with the Master's Bow, we're going to be sticking with Arrow Barrage because we want those higher ticks per second, and it also fits a little bit nicer with our rotation overall. It's an 8-second duration with a 2-second windup, so a total of 10 seconds, which ties in very nicely with Soul Trap and Poison Injection, both of which have 10-second durations as well. And so the general tests were with this setup here. So 5-piece Lacusti's, 5-piece Reliquin, and then we had the Maelstrom Dagger and Axe on the front bar here. I had Nerd on the Dagger, Sharpener on the Axe. Didn't really matter which traits I used too much as long as they were consistent between the different setups here. The only thing I changed were the bows. So I used the Master's Bow with Arrow Barrage, and then I swapped over to the Maelstrom Bow with Endless Hail so I can get a comparison. And again, these comparisons are going to be a little bit high in terms of variation just because I did have some lag on the PTS, and I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do the Maelstrom Bow rotation because of the Endless Hail duration, 14 seconds compared to the 10 seconds with Arrow Barrage. So that doesn't really line up well with the Sork rotation overall. Again, Soul Trap is 10, Poison Injection is 10, so a little bit weird there. I ended up going with as dynamic as of a rotation as I can because, again, I did want to get Endless Hail. Those last few ticks are going to be the strongest ticks with Maelstrom, so I did want to get all those ticks going when I was using the Maelstrom Bow. So with that all said and done, let's go ahead and take a look now at the actual numbers themselves. Just for some reason decided to close down on me. And we're going to go ahead and hop over now. Alright, let me get this out of the way here. So these are the numbers here. So 3 parses on the Trials dummy. I will be going back and doing some more parses, mainly with the Maelstrom, just so I can clean up the rotation a little bit, as well as with the Masters, just so I can get things kind of a little bit settled away. Hopefully the lag is only for this week for whatever reason. I didn't have any issues the past 2 weeks, so I'm not sure why this week all of a sudden it became a bit of an issue here. So you can see here a bit of a fluctuation, mainly because of the lag I was seeing on the PTS. Part of the variation here was also because I'm starting to get used to the Maelstrom with the hail with the new duration here. But you can see here that the Masters, the lowest I got was out of these 3 parses was 89.1k. With the Maelstrom, the highest parse I got was 88.7k. So even if we compare lowest to highest here, the Masters is still winning out in terms of averages. The Masters is doing significantly better. Again, a lot of variation here, so do take this with a grain of salt, but the Masters does seem to be winning out by about 3k overall DPS. That is just mental mathing this right now, just under 5% overall DPS increase if we're taking a look at Maelstrom versus Masters. So it does seem like, even though the Maelstrom Bow, all those bugs have been fixed, it does seem like Masters with Arrow Barrage is still probably going to be the best option here for stamina DPS. Again, does need to take a little bit more work in order to fully optimize that endless hail rotation to take into account the additional duration there. The duration actually does mess up the rotation quite a bit. It basically became a very dynamic rotation compared to a relatively static rotation on the Stam Sork. So just, again, take these numbers with a big grain of salt here until we can figure out, or at least until I can figure out, the best rotation using Endless Hail, at the very least on one class. That way I can kind of do a more accurate test this way. And again, a little bit of lag on the PTS, so that also contributes a little bit with the variability here. So if we take a look at the variability, there's probably going to be a little bit of overlap there, but I'd still say the Masters with Arrow Barrage is probably going to still be the best option here. The max that I got was 91.8k, so that is a full, again, 3k higher than the highest Maelstrom parse there. Look at the lowest parse, 86.9 compared to 89.1. Again, just under 3k overall increase. So definitely, if you don't have a Master's Bow right now, I would recommend at the very least trying to get one from Dragonstar Arena over in Craglorn. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys found this informative. I might do another revisit once I get the rotation squared away with the Maelstrom Bow, just so that way I get a more accurate comparison. Also, once the lag is gone from the PTS, hopefully it'll be gone starting next week. So again, I hope you guys found this video informative, and I'll see you guys in the next dungeon.